it's fun. It's sports, right? And you get to see, great things happen, overtime games and dramatic moments and things. And you get a great, it's not always a front row seat, but it's always a great seat to get to see something really amazing happen. And then you get the opportunity to go and talk to the athletes after it's over about how they feel about what just happened and what their perception is of what just happened. And I love that. I mean, I love to sort of take these huge moments and then sort of get in and then talk to the athletes. Okay, what were you thinking then? How did that play come off? What's going through your mind right now as you've done this extraordinary thing? So I think that carries a lot of passion. And then, there's small stories, interestingly, that I'm really, really passionate about. I did a story a couple of years ago about a middle school girls wrestling program in Vallejo. And there's 120 middle school girls wrestling in this program, and I went over to cover a meet, and there were girls on the mats covering the mats everywhere, and their sisters were coaching them because they'd come through the program, and the coach had this room full of trophies and this picture where he couldn't even fit all the girls in because that's how many girls he had on the team. And who's going to tell that story? I'm good with it. I'm happy if I'm the one that tells that story because I think it was a really cool story, and you get a chance to shine a light on something, and I love that. 99 Women's World Cup, when Brandy kicked that penalty kick in and there were 99,000 people in the Rose Bowl. If you're somebody who supported women's sports or covered women's sports, that was a really, really hard moment to beat. I mean, that was just a seismic shift in the way women athletes were going to be viewed forever. And so that was really exciting. We covered a lot of exciting games. I mean, you cover an overtime game and you remember the last one you did. I've sat in Maples when Stanford women have beat Connecticut twice, once to end their 90-game winning streak 3-4 years ago. And that building shook. I mean, it was full of people supporting female athletes. And as Stanford was going to win that game, that building vibrated, and it was really, really thrilling to be there. I spent a season with a rower at Cal, a female rower, and I wanted to get an idea of these minor sport athletes and the time they put in compared to football and basketball players. And I was at 5 o'clock in the morning out on a boat in the middle of the reservoir in Orinda with the Cal women's rowing team before dawn as they're pulling those oars and they're working their tails off to, be the best athletes that they can be, working every bit as hard as the basketball players and the football players who are getting much more attention and much more coverage. Those are the stories that I remember. Great games, they come and go a little bit, but it's the people stories that I kind of stick with, that stick with me.